Welcome to my kitchen. Well, actually, welcome to my car. I'm filming this here because the sound is a lot better than in my actual kitchen. But today I'm very proud to bring you one of my grandmother's personal recipes to make what I consider to be the unofficial national dish of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, I grew up eating this at parties, family gatherings, funerals, anywhere in Trinidad you can find this dish. You all probably know the name. If you don't, let me introduce you to a fabulous thing known as Pelau. The beauty about this dish is that it's so versatile. You can put different types of vegetables in it. You can put chicken, you can put beef, you can put pork. I'm going to be making mine with chicken, carrots, onions. You'll see. Let's get into the ingredients. First on the list, some pre-seasoned chicken. Then we have our vegetables. I used chopped carrots, onions, and sweet peppers. Now we have pigeon peas. Any other beans will work, but trust me, these are the best. We also have some coconut milk. This is non-negotiable. Some oil. I prefer to use coconut oil, but any other will work. Some brown sugar. Some rice, one of the main stars of the dish. And now this is what I initially mistook as a hot pepper while I was shopping for ingredients, but it's actually a pimento pepper. This was a great mistake to make because pimento peppers add an incredible flavor to this dish, but if you do want to be spicy, be sure to throw a hot pepper in there as well. Now this step is what is known as burning the sugar. Don't worry, we're not actually burning it, but we are going to add some sugar to our pot which already has heated oil in it. Then we're going to stir that around and leave it to do its thing. This step can be intimidating because a lot of people are afraid that they'll actually burn the sugar, giving the dish a bitter taste. Or they're afraid that they'll not cook it enough, which will end up with an overly sweet taste. But don't worry, this was my first time doing it as well, and I can guarantee it is quite an easy step. So we're going to leave this on high heat and just let it do its thing. After a few minutes, the sugar melts and turns into this beautiful brown syrupy mixture. But that's not the color we're looking for yet. I will admit I started to lose faith at this point since it wasn't the right color and it had been on there for quite a while. But then something happened that shocked me. Over the course of about 30 seconds, the color shifted completely to a beautiful and perfect dark brown color, which was exactly what we're looking for. Now, this is the reason why it's so hard to burn the sugar, because it's not something you can time. You kind of just have to know what you're looking for, judge it yourself, and get it to the right color. If you don't cook the sugar for long enough, remember it will be overly sweet at the end. So just be patient and wait for it to turn to that beautiful dark brown color. You can see as I'm stirring it now, the color is developing and getting richer and richer and richer. And that's what we want. Get it as dark as you dare, but don't burn it. Now listen to the noise the chicken makes when it goes in. You hear that? Few sounds are as satisfying as sizzling, perfectly seasoned meat. And I also went ahead and threw in some garlic and chives, which I forgot to film, but those add extra flavor. And in a Caribbean dish like this, there's no such thing as too much flavor. Now we're going to go ahead and stir this, making sure all of the chicken gets coated in that sugary brown goodness. And just look at the color. Like, you can't tell me that's not beautiful. You can't tell me this doesn't make you hungry. Once it's all coated and sitting evenly in the pan, we're going to cover it and leave that on high heat to cook for about 8 minutes. Once that 8 minutes is up, go ahead and throw in your rice. As you can see, the chicken should have released some water, so there will be a fair amount of liquid in the pot. But that's fine because the rice is going to start cooking in that, absorbing everything in there, making it taste even better. So be sure not to add any water just yet. There's enough in there already. And as usual, mix it up, make sure everything is covered in the browning. You know, as you can see already, this is gonna taste incredible. It really is the epitome of the one pot dish. So we're gonna cover that again and leave it to cook for about 2.5 minutes or until the rice starts to stick to the bottom of the pot. Now, being new to recording food videos, what I did was forget to record this part, but all you missed was me adding my pigeon peas and chopped vegetables, as well as some water and some coconut milk. I also added one of the pimento peppers as if it were a hot pepper. That was before I realized my mistake. But really, this should be chopped into small pieces and thrown in to really add flavor. Luckily, I realized my mistake later on and I fixed it. So be sure to add everything in, give it a good stir, and cover it again. Leave that to cook on a slow boil for about 10 minutes. Now, it was at this point that my mother came home and reminded me of a few things I had forgot. One being this, some fresh thyme tied with some string. This allows us to put it in the dish so it can add all of its flavor, and then we can remove it at the end so we're not stuck with all those annoying, inedible thyme stalks. Next up was some chopped cilantro, because cilantro makes everything taste better. Unless you're one of those people whose genetics make cilantro taste like actual soap. If that's the case, I'm sorry for your loss, because cilantro is incredible. I also added some chopped pimento peppers, which you should be able to see floating around in there. So we'll give that a good mix. Then if it looks like it needs some more water, how you'll know is everything should be just about covered. Go ahead and add in a bit more water like I did. Don't worry, the water is clean. The cup just looks a little dirty because there was some coconut milk left over in there. Now we'll go ahead, give that a good stir, cover it, and then let it continue to boil until the original 10 minutes is up. Well, congratulations. At this point, your pilau is pretty much done. This part is up to you because some people like their rice mushy, but some people like it a bit harder. Some people like their pilau wet. Some people like it dry. Personally, I prefer mine a little wet with relatively soft rice. Now, this is also the right time to taste it for salt. Be sure to add more if needed, but be careful. Don't rush it and burn your mouth like I did. It's not a fun experience. So I tasted mine and the rice was pretty much done. The salt level was perfect. I was honestly shocked at how much it tasted like my grandmother's. Obviously, I'll never get mine to her level, but this is about as close as a mere mortal such as myself will ever achieve. So, I added in the rest of my cilantro, and I mixed it all together. After letting it cook for a bit longer, just so some of the water could boil off and the rice could get to the perfect texture, I went in for the final taste. And let me tell you, I really could not believe what I had just made. It was like I had brought a childhood memory back to life. So I went ahead and plated it. Now, pilau is usually served with a side such as fried plantains, garden salad, or my personal favorite, avocado. But in honor of the tradition behind this dish, I plated it with some fresh coleslaw, which I had made the day before. Coleslaw is by far the most popular thing to eat with pilau in Trinidad. And just look at it. I promise you, it tastes just as amazing as it looks. And I really hope you try making this sometime. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.